Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, Shir sponsor Lui Nushmas Arbiak Hashem Navas Yitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Lamed Aleph. This is a recording of the Shir that was given on Shabbos. We're starting the Mishnah Daf Lamed Amud Beis. Look the Mishnah. Eizoi Aveda. What is an Aveda? As the Mor is going to explain, what is the definition of something that you consider to be an Aveda that now you have to be responsible to give it to the owner? He sees a cow or a donkey grazing on the way. That's not an Aveda. But if he sees a donkey and his kalim turn upside down, or he sees a cow running around among the vineyards, that is Aveda. He returned the animal. She ran back out. He returned it again. She ran back out. Even if it's 4 or 5 times, he still needs to return again. So Hashem Yeshiva, you have to return it multiple times. We'll get to the Gemara. We'll see what's the chiddush. What exactly is the definition of the re-returning? Person is going to lose by giving the Aveda back. He's losing a seller. And then tell the owner, give me the seller that I lost. And he pays him like a worker. And the Gemara is going to explain what that means. If there's a Beis Din over there, not the Bivnei Beis Din, so then he can condition and say, I'm not willing to do it if I lose money. I'm not willing to do it for minimum salary. I want to get more. But if there's no Beis Din, so then he doesn't want to lose his money. He doesn't have the obligation to do that if he's losing more money than what the Baal Aveda will pay. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? It says the Gemara asks, the Mishnah brings examples of Aveda. We had many examples of Aveda before. What's the rule of Aveda? Now you're obligated to bring it back. He sees a cow or a donkey grazing at the way, it's not an Aveda. It's not chayav on that. But if he sees a donkey upside down, or a cow running among the vineyards, says the Gemara, if the animal is grazing outside in the field, so you don't never have to return it, you can always assume that the owner knows where it is. Until 3 days. What's the case? If it's grazing in the night, an animal is alone at night. It's not supposed to be in home. It's supposed to be a domestic animal is to go back in the night. So it's clearly something that got lost. If it's in a day, I feel too naviloy. What do you mean? It can be out there for weeks. So he saw it early in the morning, dawn and dusk. It's not mamish too in the middle of the night, but it's not day either. It's a little too early than usual, a little too late than usual. For 3 days, I'm reading it's Shramuni Swap it to me, she went out a little early or a little late. More than 3 days, it's considered to be an Aveda. So more time, you have to bring a right to that. Find a clothing or a kli, a threshing kli, when a stereo in large street, or a cow running among the vineyards. But if the talis of the cardum are next to a fence, someone put it there. Toys earlier explained that we're not talking about a place with completely mishtamer. Talking about a place which is in between. So if it looks like you put it there for a purpose, or a cow grazing among the vineyards, ends Aveda. But if it's 3 days, it is Aveda. So here's a right that 3 days doesn't make a difference. The Rishonim discussed, does the 3 days also apply to the clothing? The clothing is there next to the fence for 3 days. What is 3 days? What does that mean? Or the 3 days applies only to the animal. Now, continues the Bryce and says, he sees water coming to overflow his field, a field of his friend. There is a greater name. He should block it. Okay, that was the Bryce, what the Bryce said. Now the Gemara is reading Rava, independent statement. The Gemara is going to connect Rava to the Bryce. It's coming to the Rabbe, the Aveda of a karka, even if the land gets ruined. I have a Bryce like you. It's exactly what we saw. Only Mishum Ho like to say it's not a good rhyme. We have here bundles of wheat. We have here they're connected together as bundles, so that's why you have a problem. That's why you have to save it, not because of the field. If there's oimrim, of course, it's a regular avedo. But talk about that there is bundles, there's grain that it needs the karka. Says the Ma'amshif, and it's connected to the karka. It's like the land. So if the land you don't have to save that either. Kamashon, you do have to. Now what's the chiddush? Without Rava, you would say the chiddush is that even if it's connected to the ground, it's considered to be movable. The chiddush of Rava is no. Whatever is the ground, whatever is karka, you also have to be matzah. Says the Gemara, what's a chamer apara? Hagdu v'kash. If you look on our Mishnah, it says you have a cow, you have a donkey grazing on the way. Ein zavet. That's not an avedo. Roim b'derech u'dulav avedo. If they're grazing in the way, that's an avedo. Ha rotzo b'derech v'roi b'nakomim. But if it's running in the way and grazing among the vineyards, ha ve'avedo. Only walking in the way is not. You must say, look at the next part. Chomer v'kel afuchim. You have an upside down donkey. Par rotzo b'nakomim. You see a cow running among the vineyards. Harei zavedo. Rotzo b'nakomim hu de'avi avedo. After running among the vineyard is an avedo. But if it's running in the way and or grazing in the vineyard, ain't no avedo. It's a steer in the Mishnah. So we're saying one case, and we can just bring one example. It's like grazing in the derech. It's equivalent to grazing in a car. Tana rotza ben akom avedo. When you're running between the vineyard is avedo. Within the rotza is also rotza b'derech. In other words, the rule is question what the behemoth is doing. If it's grazing, walking, no problem. If it's running, it's a problem, regardless where. If that's the case, why are you mentioning the case which is more chamor and not the case which is more kal? And you say kosher, meaning why are you telling me the case which is less of a chiddush? They say running in the ways of Avedo, and of course if it's running among the vineyards, as we'll see, the ones that say because it gets hurt, it gets cabbed among the vineyards. Grazing among the vineyards, because it's not running, of course you're going to worry about that. So why tell me the case which is less of a chiddush? No question with Rotza. So why? The question, where is the animal running to? If it's running to the city, so then it's fine, it's going on. If it's running to the field, it's not. So davra means the field. Also, the question is, what do you care about, the animal or the field? When you say the Rebbe is not an avedo, but if it's grazing in the vineyard, it's a problem. Talk about that you're rooting the vineyard, you have to come and save it. Running among the vineyard is a problem, but grazing is not. Is good regarding the animal itself. Why? Running among the vineyard, she gets capped. But if it's grazing among the vineyard, it's not going to get capped, so no problem. So the more Rabbi Nakomi, he do misakvo, typically Mishorin is kaka. Okay, you want to tell me that Rabbi Nakomi, there's no problem of misakvo, but what about this kaka? You're ruining the vineyard. So the more the kusi. Talk about a vineyard belongs to a kusi. But typically Mishorin is gufo. What about the fact that the animal may get lost? Maybe the owner is going to kill it, seeing it grazing on its vineyard. Talk about they first of all warn, only then they kill. Maybe they did warn. If there was a warning and the owner still wasn't careful, so we're saying really that the diuk that we had is really depends on the case. If you talk about her issue, her own when she's running among the vineyard, or running away from the city. But if it's a problem of the vineyard itself, the vineyard itself is even if it's not running. Why we don't care about what is the duke of the Mishnah, the Masha, if you're grazing among the Krum, you're okay. Talk about that belongs to a Kusi, is not an issue. Now just to mention that what is Avedas? When we say Aveda Midasi, big machlokes Rishonim. What's the din in Aveda Midas? The Rambam learns that Aveda Midas means the owner left it in a place where it could get lost. You're not allowed to you don't have to return it to him, but you're also not allowed to take it. It's his, but he's not careful about it. I'm not going to be careful. I'm not going to be careful for him. The Torah says no. If it's Aveda Midas, it's hefker. You can actually go and pick it up and take it. And Efshar, the machlokes, the Rambam, and the Torah depends what's the definition of hefker. How easy is to do hefker? According to Torah, where was the hefker? Was he mafker? Did he announce it? So he's saying no. In fact, he doesn't care about it. Makes it hefker. According to the Rambam, seemingly that's not enough. Hefker is actual. It's on your shus. You need to say the word hefker. Just not being careful doesn't make it hefker. The Torah argues, and that's a big discussion in halacha. Okay. Let's continue on. It says the Gemara, he returned and ran away. We have to return multiple times. It says Hashem Teshivim. So maybe Hashem means once, Teshivim twice. Hashem means even 100 times. Teshivim mainly to his house, like in also his field, the Churboso, his room, Minayin. To what Teshivim, it says Teshivim. Mikol. It didn't mean to if it's guarded there, Pshito. That's going to be a good Hashem. It didn't mean to in mind. If it's not guarded, so why not? You don't have to have a das bailim because the fact that you're bringing it back to the place which is nishmar is good enough, even though the owner doesn't know about it, as we learned in the end of Bava. Okay, the blazer, the omar, kol tzrichim das bailim. You usually need to have the owner knowing when you're turning. Chutz ma'ashor savedo shatoiro ripso ashor sarbe. Torah says you can return it Hashem Teshivim even if the owner does not know. And just to mention that the first we ask, it says you have to bring the many Hashavas. What's the Chiddush? Something got lost. If they return it, lost again. You have to return it again. So Torah Turima says, it's really, the Chiddush is that the owner, it's maybe a blame of the owner. The owner should be more careful the second time. Chiddush is you don't say that. But the Bava says, the Chiddush is if you return it and the owner didn't pick it up yet, as long as it gets lost again, that means you didn't fully return it. You're still a shomer on it. That's a Chiddush. Hashem Zabim means you have to be Yeshiva even if it gets lost again and again and again until you know that the owner got it back completely and he's holding on to it. So now that we mentioned Hashem Teshivim, what does it mean? The Gemara is going to go into multiple cases. Do we have a double Lashon? Shalech Teshalach. Ema Shalech Chado, Sima Tishlach Trezimo. When it says Shiloch HaKan, maybe it means only twice. Only Shalech Afilu Me'apa Yimashu. Said as many times as needed. Teshalach Ein Le'advar Rishus. That's only if you need it for your own self. Atvar mitzvah, but if you need for mitzvah, for a mitzvah, Rashi says, Minayin, how do you know you have to celebrate the mother and not take the mother with the kids in front of the mother? Special din, even by mitzvah, you have to do, you send away the mother. You have to rebuke once, not more than once. Doing teichachot, a person is doing avero. Means multiple times. It's only the Rebbe gives Tichot to the Talmud. Talmud l'Rab Minayim, I didn't know a Talmud giving Tichot to the Rebbe. Sometimes you have to do that as well. You have to do it even Talmud to the Rebbe. The Rambam doesn't mention it. And the Shel is where he doesn't mention it. Multiple answers. Some want to say that the Rambam does mention that the Talmud, in Hilchos Tavot Torah, that the Talmud has to tell the Rebbe if he made a mistake on halacha. You see, maybe it's included in that. We'll see soon, maybe there's another answer to the Rambam. Says the Gemara, Ozuv Tazav Imoy. Right? We're going to learn, this is a sugi, we're going to learn later. What is Ozuv Tazav Imoy? Ozuv Tazav Imoy means that when you have to unload an animal. You have to help the owner to unload the animal. It's only the owner is there. The owner is not there. We're not helping him out. Even without the owner. Toys will say, even the owner is sick or old and he can't do it himself, you still have to help. Hakev talking which means to load an animal, and the owner is there. You still have to help him, why do you need to say both unload and load? Why you need in both cases places to say Baal Avimoy, even if the Baal is not there. So it's saying that by Priko, you have Tsar Balechayim, Vika Chesukis, and there's a monetary loss. Avaltina to load the animal, the Lat Tsar Balechayim is not such Tsar Balechayim, because the animal right now is unloaded. Veloy Chesukis, you're not really losing money because the animal is not getting hurt. Maybe you need your owner to help. Because there you're getting paid. Because as we're going to learn later, you get paid if someone helps to unload, to load. But to unload, which is chinam, that's what you need both psukim. Shiva don't have teina bechinam. According to Shiva holds, you do teina bechinam. Michael and Memar. Shiva lo misabikor. According to Shiva, we don't know which one is talking about loading, which is talking about unloading. Remember that Reb Shimon, the Gemara addressed Reb Shimon over here. We'll get back to that in a moment. Why are you telling me all these cases? You just say a person needs to make sure that his friend doesn't have a damage. It's what tzricho. You have also the owner, he has tsar, they can't load, unload, and you have tsar of the animal. If the animal has a load, or even if unloading, as the Rishonim explained, even loading, saying you still have tsar, to unload is tsar because the animal is taking a muscle. But even to load, when you load an animal, two people, it's more comfortable to the behemoth than one person schlepping something on their back. So the owner is b'tzar that he lost his item. So the behemoth is so happy, she's grazing in the field. Maybe then you don't have to get back. That's what you have to tell me Avedo. Yeshvin and Avedim should lace the more about the owner is not there at all. But the fundamental base of the Hani Tidy the Isla more about which means the owner is there. So you were talking about that the owner is there, and the owner, he's not lost. The owner should hire workers himself. Maybe we don't help, but you see, why do I have to help? Okay, he should find somebody else. So that's when you need all this talk. So tomorrow, now another pasuk. Someone who kills. You kill him in the normal way. You can't kill him normally. In the way that basically usually kill. You can kill him in any other death. Rashi means an example. He's running away in a boat. You can shoot an arrow on him. You kill him any way possible. Hakitaka speaks about ir nedachas. That's written in ir nedachas. You can kill him. You can kill the ir nedachas in the place where it's written in ir nedachas. You can kill it any way possible. That's another drasha of double osh. Hashev Toshi. What's Hashev Toshi? Talk about we're going to pikador, a mashkrin. The person took a mashkrin and he has to return it to the owner. Now what's the mashkrin talking about? Now mashkrin b'shas alvo. Meaning when a person takes a loan, takes a mashkrin, we're not talking about that case. That is based on how the lender and borrower agreed. But we're talking about mashkrin shaloi b'shas alvo. So a person lend money, the guy doesn't have what to pay, he takes the collateral. Usually take a collateral because Beis didn't take a collateral. Sometimes he takes on his own. Beis allowed it, took it. So you have a special Hashev Tosh. This goes into the sugi and tomorrow. The Gemara brings a right from here against Rava. Rava holds anything that you're not allowed to do, if you did, doesn't work. Here, you're not supposed to take the collateral without basing. Still, if you took it, the Torah addresses it. Mashra does work. So the question, and Rava has to come to some answers. He took it with permission. Again, double lashon till they both work. Why you need to have both the psukim and mashkoi? One for clothing of the day, do you return in the day? One clothing of the night, do you return when night comes? Regarding tzedakah, the poor people of your city. To people in another city, how do you know? Tifta tells you always have to give tzedakah. No setitin, you have to give again tzedakah. And then a matana a big matana. Matana muetas minai, I didn't know even a small matana. Talmud loima no setitin mikom makom, have to give every matana. So here the Mepharshim will ask, what do you mean? What's chiddush? Why would I think only a big matana and a small matana? So someone will say, I think the Rashash brings it because the Hamshach Pasuk. The Pasuk says, because God is going to give you a bracha. You know that even a Matanim Mu'etis you get a bracha. The Ben Yehoyada says, Pshat is, we're talking about a case, as we learned in Bava Kama, when a person has 199 zuz, he can take tzedakah. He can take $1,000 in one shot. But if he has 200, he can't take. Talk about a guy who has 199, one has one to give him. It says, if I give him one, he will not be able to take any more tzedakah. Let him go to the rich person in the city. He will take 1,000. Chiddush says, you don't do these cheshbonos. You should go and give him whatever he needs right now, even though you can't give him more. Even Matanim Mu'etis. Hanik Tanik, what's Hanik Tanik? What's Hanik Tanik? We talk about an Eved who leaves, you have to give him compensation. It says in the pasuk there, because there was a bracha in the house. Well, maybe only if there was a bracha, give him a gift. How do you know if there was no bracha, you still have to give him? That's Hanik Tanik. You only give him if you got bracha for him. Tanik, lama do I need Tanik? Says, boom, now we have a new lashon. Sometimes the Torah doubles its lashon. And then let's see the last example, the more avitenu, that here you have to lend money to a poor person. He doesn't want to get tzedakah. I'm not going to tell him give him a loan. Yes, he has money, but still he doesn't want to. He's very stingy. Minayin, that you still have to give him a loan, and then you'll be good after miso. That says Rashi. You always go and you extract the loan. So that's the tavitel, the double lashon. He's fine as a person who has, he doesn't get pronounced, so in his calculator, you don't give him anything. Taviteno, Lamali, why it says Taviteno? So something more says so we have here two cases, Elazar ben Azariah and Reb Shimon, and they say the double lush of these cases are because Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam. So Toy says, what about all the previous cases and all the drushes we had? So Toy says, you're right. They're not arguing the previous cases. They're only arguing here because here they disagree. They have no other thing. They say Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam. The Rishonim have a big machlokes regarding that. Either the Ramban belief says the Reb Shimon and Elazar ben Azariah, they hold that always you say Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam. And other Rishonim say that it's a machlokes of Shimon and Elazar ben Azariah. Elazar ben Azariah holds you always say Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam. Shimon says depends. As we saw Reb Shimon Le'il, we mentioned Amud Aleph. To Reb Shimon, we spoke about him regarding Te'ina. So really the question will be, as Teish points out here, what are they going to do with all the other drushes? But you see, according to this, it's a big machlokes if Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam or not. So just to mention, we're speaking about this in the Shrom Machshava more in length, but just to mention it, that what's the idea of Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam? So Leo Dessa brings us brought down another svarim. The Torah in Shemayim is called Torah Shmoyes HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah in Shemayim doesn't appear the way it appears in this world. In this world, it appears talking to human beings. It talks about an ox, a cow, etc. Also, when a Torah comes, it appears to Bnei Adam. It speaks in the language of Bnei Adam. Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam. That's the idea. And this Moshe says Niflamoy. He wants to say this machlokes Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam depends on another machlokes. A machlokes in the Medrash, the way the Yifet Torah says, a very hard Medrash to understand. But the Medrash brings a machlokes if anything in the world is unnecessary. They bring two sheetahs. One sheetah says there's nothing unnecessary. Everything in the world has a purpose. The other sheetah says no. There's some things that are not necessarily specifically. It's like the ecosystem. You know, you have nature, and in nature there's all kinds of different creatures. Some of them are more necessary, some of them specifically not necessary, they're just part of the whole system. So says the Yisrael Moshe, that's the same machlokes here. If you say the Dibra Kolosh, if you say, the world is a reflection of the Torah. So if in the world there's anything which is unnecessary, just there as part of the system, so also in the Torah, you have some words, the Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam. But if you hold in the world, everything has a purpose, so also the Torah, everything, you don't see Dibra Kolosh B'Yadam. Beautiful idea of the Yisrael Moshe. Says the Gemara, just a few more lines over here. He's losing money, he has to get paid as a poyel. Says the Gemara explains, like a poyel who's not working. Poyel who's not working that melacha that he's supposed to work. Says Rashi, look at Rashi. Rashi says, Kama I'm a person who's taking money and lower his salary. To not do that very difficult job he's supposed to do. Basically, all based on how hard it is and how much money you're getting. Some harder, some malachas easier, so all depends on that. Meaning what? Meaning, Rashi learns, Pshat is, a person gets a high salary. How much is willing to take a lower salary to do this Aveda? That's what Rashi learns. There's a few other Gemaras that speak about Kitpuel Botel. And the Yeshiva have different discussions what he means. It means Kitpuel Botel to get whatever he lost, or to pay him a minimum salary, which is not the loss of this job, but the minimum salary. The Rishonim Taste puts out in other places that it is by a dayan, for example. A dayan gets a Puel Botel. So says Taste, if a person doesn't want to take money for doing din. So different discussion in Rishonim Taste later in the Metzia proves that an our sugyo, the Pashup is like Rashi, the Puel Botel means how much is he willing to take less in order to do what he's doing now, which is an easier job, and then it depends on the person and depends on the profession. So we'll stop over here, and Bezos will continue in the next half.